Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of Yoleno TV. I'm glad to be back with a fresh analysis. So I think by now, literally everybody knows that KARUA made known his intention to take the case, the IEBC KOOME case, to the East African Court. So he made through that plan and decided to file a petition.
Tukae pamoja kama azimio la umoja. Haikuwezekana leo, lakini itawezekana. Na itawezekana Kenya mzima. Na sababu nilikumbushwa ya kwamba na koti, watu wanaweza tembea na hot air. Mimi nimeapa hot air itanipeleka East African Court of Justice. Hiyo haitatusaidia kupata kiti yetu ya urais, lakini itatusaidia kuzungumzia kama haki ilitendeka kwa koti ya Kenya. Asanteni sana.
Again, the Muslims human rights also did the same. The human rights for Muslim community also did file a petition. So allow me to go deep into some of these, the claims and the demands of KARUA and that Muslim community, what they were requesting the East African community to do, and what expectations are as far as this case is concerned, and some of those details that they require the East African court to those decisions that they should make, and the determination that are supposed to be made. So KARUA decided to expose CHEBUKATI at that court. So one of the claims was that there was an unauthorized person who gained access to IEBC servers and altered Form 34As. Remember, we're not going to delve deep into those because we already talked about them in those videos that we posted in August, whereby we talked about Komago, those people who are that invaded the server. And you also remember during the court process when one of the lawyers talked about a plumber ameingia kutengeneza shower, then after the shower plumber anakaa hapo anasema kwamba just continue, anaangalia venye unaoga. So that was an example that was used to symbolize that someone logged into the server, did the configuration and decided to stay on the server and only exited after the election. So that is one of the claims. So the second claim that seeks to expose CHEBUKATI was that IEBC ceded control of its electoral system to external service providers and allowed unauthorized entry that facilitated deletion, altering, and uploading of voter registration information and electoral results. I think that supports the claim that we expanded on when we were talking about that unauthorized access, the Komago thing, and that plumber who stayed in the shower until the client finished bathing. So that is just an example. That's one of the claims that KARUA alleged. And then there was another claim that KARUA made with regards to the determination that she needs from the East African Court, that Supreme Court registrar did not render true results. I think that is explained in during that Supreme Court process, whereby there are some of those ballot boxes that were picked from, especially Majengo area, whereby now it was alleged that some ballot boxes did not have copy of Form 34A, some did not have the seals, some were open, some did not have ballot papers in them. So you find that the report that the Supreme Court registrar gave did not indicate those details. It only indicated that there was no or very minimal malpractice and that most of the figures that were declared in the Form 34A were factual and accurate. Mind you, for the ballot boxes that did not have, the Form 34As, I don't know which document he used to counter-check against the physical Form 34As which were presented. Mind you, when you write Form 34A, there is always a copy, a carbonated copy that is supposed to be put in the ballot boxes and sealed with the ballot boxes, so that should there be any scrutiny, then the physical Form 34A is supposed to be compared with the Form 34A copy that is found within the ballot box. So these were missing but the Supreme Court registrar did not indicate them in the report that she gave the Supreme Court judges. So that is what Martha Karua has indicated as her second claim. There is another claim that was directed at Supreme Court, that Supreme Court had lack of consistency in its judgment on presidential petitions. Mind you, in 2017 and 2013, there were some rulings which were made. And if you look at the ruling that were made in 2022, then you find that this ruling contradicts some of those rulings were made in 2017 and 2013. For the 2022 case, there was the 4 commissioners who testified and did their own petitions. But these petitions were termed as hot air. It's funny. And in 2017, there was a determination that was made because IEBC could not allow access to its servers, so that president petition had to be that Raila Amolo Odinga had to win that petition. In 2022, the same happened because you realize that the company that was given mandate to handle the electoral system did not want to open the servers for the ICT Azimio ICT team to do some scrutiny on some of those processes in the system, the algorithms. So you find that Martha KOOME did not factor in that move by the provider to allow access, minimal access to the Azimio One Kenya Alliance ICT team. So that appeared as having double standards in decision making, because if the decision of 2017 was based on the fact that IEBC did not want to allow that minimal access, and the same was repeated in this determination, then why is it that the Supreme Court was applying double standard in its own decision making process? So that is a complaint. So Martha Karua issued a demand. He demands that the regional court to order for scrutiny of the processes involved and term the process was not done justly. The petition was also filed jointly by Muslim for Human Rights. Supreme Court violated their rights and those of other citizens, and they are demanding that they should be compensated fully for that violation of their rights, and that the expenses incurred by them should be compensated to them by the government of Kenya. Because, mind you, to file a presidential election petition, 1 million. That is a fee that the Supreme Court put for someone who would like to file a petition. So if they file a petition with concrete evidence and concrete information, and then the Supreme Court decides to term that as wild goose chase and hot air, then that means they wasted their time in providing the information they provided, and they were hoping that maybe the Supreme Court would tighten its belt and direct IEBC to perform due diligence in its electoral process and procurement process.
The NARC Kenya party leader and Raila Odinga's running mate in the just concluded presidential race made good her threat to challenge the Supreme Court's judgment regarding the election of President William Ruto at the East African Court of Justice on Friday. Together with activist Hele Khalifa of the Muslims for Human Rights Muhuri, Martha Karua formally filed the petition at the Arusha-based court. In the 14-page document, Karua and Khalifa insist that the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC, in declaring William Ruto as president and the Supreme Court of Kenya invalidating the win, violated their rights.
So, ladies and gentlemen, do you think there will be some meaningful outcome from this court process, or do you think that the Supreme Court will be held responsible for some of those allegations that he has put across? So, ladies and gentlemen, Allow me to wind up there, but until we meet again for another analysis, please take time and subscribe to our channel. And once again, I'd like to say, stay safe and stay blessed until we meet again for another analysis.